Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Uh, it's been a very long time, but I'm back now. Actually, I'm back for good. And for the past few weeks now, even I think it's more than a month, I've been trying to create what I want to teach you how to make myself, so that when I teach, I know what I'm teaching. Because sometimes if you don't practice before you teach, you might end up wasting a lot of time. So for more than 4 weeks, I practiced what I want to teach you. It's kind of a series. If you remember, I sent you guys a message, like an update, what I've been doing actually. So uh, on my screen right now, this is what we would be making. We want to make ourselves a breakfast. And is this real or fake? I'll give you a few seconds to answer that question. Okay, very soon you'll find out. I'm not going to tell you whether it's real or fake. All I want to tell you is this is what we would make in Blender, and it is going to span more than one, of course, more than one tutorial, because it takes a lot of things to create what you are seeing on your screen right now. Yeah, like I've said, I'm back now, and hopefully I'll stick around for a long time. I think I've made some kind of preparation to to not just leave you be, like to always be with you for as much as I can. Like my plan is to kind of try to I have plans on how to make tutorials what I want to make next. So before the time of the release, I would have already created a tutorial beforehand. So that's my plan. So when I got busy or occupied, I wouldn't or you wouldn't have to wait for me to finish what I'm doing before I come back. As usual, we're gonna launch a Blender app. This is mine. And you might have noticed your screen is kind of big. You might not be able to see my entire screen right now. Yeah, that's deliberate because I want you to see exactly what I'm pressing. So the camera is kind of following my cursor here. So don't mind my screen. And if you feel like it's kind of too big, yeah, you can. I don't know. If you like it this way, let me know. If you don't, we can actually go back to the way we used to work, where you can always see the entire screen. But I think this is kind of better because you can see what I'm doing precisely. So this is Blender. I'm using Blender 2.9, actually 2.93. This is what you should be using because there might be things that are new in Blender 2.93 that you cannot find in other versions. Click on General to get started, or click outside of the splash screen. I really can't remember where we stopped, so I might have to pause this video right now and check what we've done. This is, of course, what you would see when you launch Blender. And what we want to make is path and anchor. This you can see on your screen right now. So I kind of have a little reference that I want to use because I don't want us to just do this, off offhand. So it was kind of like what I did was I downloaded a picture. The picture can be downloaded if you like. Like you can kind of download any picture you like. It doesn't really matter. But for the sake of this tutorial, you might want to use the same reference image as mine. So I should kind of like drop the link to download this, but the reference is not something we would kind of trace. We are not going to trace this, so it's not really necessary. As long as you can see how the plate and whatever we want to make or everything we want to make looks like, then we should be fine. So yeah. So now I kind of like want to launch this app. This app is called Purave. It allows you to kind of like have your reference, to always have your reference image. Okay, I think I uploaded it before. Like, let me just open up the project. So this is an app you can download. Uh, if I forget to add the link to the description, you can chat me up, but I'll try my best to remember and add the link to the site where you can download Purave, and you would see how we can use it when we start working on our project. So now we have our reference image on the screen. Okay, so I'm just trying to uh, expand, or like I want more room for my 3D workspace. Like whatever I'm doing here, I don't want this to get in the way. But right now, if you notice, when I click on Blender, we can no longer see the reference image. But if I press right click now, and can I find it here? Mode. Okay. If I go to mode and I say always on top, then even if I click on Blender, we would always have our reference image on top of our Blender app. So you can scale this however you like. Okay, so I'll just find a place to put this guy. Let's put him right here. So this is our reference image, and I'm going to delete this cube, because obviously to use this cube to make this plate, it's kind of gonna take a lot of work. So we're gonna delete it, shift A to add a new one, and I'm going to add a circle. If I add a new one, I can come down here and change the vertices here to 16, and let's see what happens. Okay, if we change it to 16, we have these angles, but by the time we uh, subdivide this, like we have a modifier called subdivision modifier, we should it should be a lot smoother. So this is the okay. So I think we can increase the radius. Can we? Shall we? Let's say two. Two is actually too big. I'll do that again, and we can always kind of like scale it whenever we need. So let's leave it at 1. I'll go to edit mode, and from front view, you can see here we are in the front view. I can start to extrude this plate right here. So I'm going to press E and Z. Okay, I think about this top, I'm going to scale it up here. And if you notice, this kind of plate is not as, I don't know, straight as the one we are making is. So what I want to do to correct that is press Ctrl R. That is to add an edge loop. Left click to add. You can drag it before you confirm, but we don't want to. We want it to be in the center, so we're gonna right click to drop it at the center of the object. So I like to expand my tool so that I have everything visible at the time. So now that we have an edge loop going around the plate, I want to scale this edge loop. I'm going to scale it like this. Yeah, we don't just have. Okay, I'm going to make this even a bit taller, and I'll go into edge mode here. You can press 2 on your keyboard and then right click to slide this up as well. Okay, that's how to slide your edge loop. So if I go out of edit mode, you can already see we are having something looking like a plate here. So first thing I want to do is right click and shade smooth, so we don't have all these you know polygons visible. So we are going to shade smooth, go back to edit mode, go to top view, select the bottom edge loop, extrude, and start scaling inwards. I want to do this like 3 times. I press E, then right click to drop, then S to scale. That's what I'm doing. And I think I can do this one more time before we finally collapse everything in the center. So if you want to collapse all of this in the center, if you want to join them together in the center, you can press M and choose merge at center or collapse. I think they work the same way. Okay, so now that we close our plate in the bottom, if you see this edge, it's kind of too sharp. You can never find a plate in real life that has a sharp edge. So what we're gonna do is we're going to double click on this edge loop. In case your double click doesn't work, you probably want to press Alt and then left click once. I'm going to double click on this and then I'll press Ctrl P, that's bevel. So once you press Ctrl V, then you can drag to create a bevel. So right now we only have 2 edge loop, this one and this one. So but I want 3 so that it's a lot smoother. If you notice how the angle of this thing is kind of like we can't. Okay, let's make the changes so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So when I press this, now we have another edge loop in between the 2 other ones, so it's a lot smoother now. If you go back to object mode, you can see we have an exit the edit mode. I don't know if you can see this, but we kind of have some kind of polygon shape here. So what would we need to do to fix this is we come to modifier and look for subdivision modifier, and everything is going to be smoothened out for you by Blender, and you can increase the levels. The levels here means the levels of the viewport, how much subdivision you want to have in your viewport. So you can increase this to 2 since the render is going to take 2. That is the output of the whatever image you or picture you render out from here is going to take whatever value we have here. So we put this at 2. So this is only for the viewport. It means what you are currently seeing. So it's there so that you don't, if you crack this up now, your file is going to, or your app is going to slow down. Your computer is going to slow down because it's actually going to add a lot of vertices, too many vertices in your screen, and your computer is going to lag because of that. So now that we've added subdivision modifier and our plate is kind of smooth, we want to kind of like give it some thickness. If you look at the plate here, our reference, you can see we have some thickness here. So how do we do that? You come to modifier and look for solidify modifier. So I want to solidify this object now. Once you click it, then you should have a bit of thickness. You can increase this if you look for thickness in the solidify properties. You can see the thickness, and if you click it, it's going to kind of increase the size of your plate. So you can, like, I would like to use 0.01. You can type in a value if you like. If you right click on this input field, now you can type in whatever value. Okay, so this offset is just for you to, like, if you don't want it to, let's say currently if you look at the plate, when we press this, it's kind of being expanded outwards, but if we put this, let's say at 1 now, it's going to do it inward. So if I increase this now, it's going to do it inward. So whichever way you want to put your own um, plate, it doesn't really matter. So let me talk a little bit about what you can see here. If you press on ring, we will have two layers of plate. Two layers of plate here. Let me go to edit mode so you can see this properly. We have the first one. I don't know if you can see this, but we have one from the outside. Okay, maybe if I select this, you can see it better. No, you can't select it. I'm not sure if you can see this, but we kind of have two layers of plate. So this is kind of, so when we press fill, it's going to fill. So this is just like, you know, like our plate is being duplicated and being scaled down a little bit, something like that. So but what we want right now is, you know, to fill it up. Once we fill it, you know, we no longer have two layers of plate. We only have something like uh, filled filled up. It's filled up. So if I click on only rim, the outer layer is gonna disappear. If you look at the plate, if you click on this, the outer layer is going to disappear. So we want to, I think the time will come when we would have to use all of these settings. I just want you to be aware of what you are seeing right away, because there are tons of options down here, some of which I don't even know what to do. So yeah, that's it for that. And I think our plate is smooth enough. It's perfect. So the next thing we want to do, we have a plate, so we need pap inside this plate. We need pap. So we are going to make pap, but not in this tutorial. We'll make it in the next tutorial. So stick with me as we make our breakfast. Regardless of when you are making this, even if it is at night, then of course you can always take your breakfast when you wake up. But if you are in the morning, I'm sorry, you might not be able to take your breakfast today. It might take some days or week before you finish up making your breakfast. So yeah, I think this will be the end of this tutorial. So I kind of want to save this project. I think by now you should know how to save your own project. You press Ctrl S, find the file in which you want to save. So I have a Blender file folder here, and then I'm going to call this prop and a color. So that's it for this tutorial, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.